Hey there, I'm Angela Struck and welcome to Kitchen Improv. Now, if you're like me, you're not a planner. I'm usually so busy running around that cooking is always done last minute on the fly with whatever I happen to have in my fridge. Now today that happens to be some portobello mushrooms that are about to go off, so I need to make them quickly. I love to put these in omelets or pasta dishes, but today they're going to be the star of the dish. We're going to do mushroom stuffed mushrooms. Unlike traditional stuffed mushrooms that are filled with fatty cheese and breadcrumbs, these mushrooms are stuffed with mushrooms, Parmesan cheese, and some nuts. Super healthy, really lean, and a great way to load up on veggies, so let's get started. The ingredients you'll need for this recipe are portobello mushrooms, one for each person that you're cooking for. I'm making 3, one for my husband, one for myself, and one for leftovers tomorrow. For filling, you'll need button mushrooms, Parmesan cheese, parsley, and for the marinade, extra virgin olive oil, balsamic vinegar, garlic, Dijon mustard, salt and pepper, and pine nuts. So first things first, we want to clean our portobello mushrooms. Little tip, you never want to wash these mushrooms. Mushrooms are like sponges and they'll absorb all the water. So instead what you want to do is take a damp paper towel and just kind of rub them and wipe off all the dirty, nasty stuff. And then what we're going to do is pop off these little stems because we're actually going to use it as part of our stuffing. And mushrooms are a great substitute for animal protein. If you're ever grilling and have over a vegetarian friend, you can make portobello mushroom burgers or a mock filet with a portobello mushroom. They marinate and they grill just like red meat, and they're hearty and full of protein, so your guests will be happy. Okay, so now that our portobello mushrooms are nice and clean, we're going to focus on our marinade. I've just added a little bit of olive oil and some balsamic vinegar on a 3-to-1 ratio, but I always tend to go a little bit over because I like tart. Then I've added some salt and pepper, 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, and now I'm just adding in a little bit of garlic. And then we're just going to whisk it together and then brush it onto our mushrooms. So I just dunk it in the marinade so that it really soaks up all that deliciousness. I am such a huge mushroom fan. They're so good for you too. I feel like people don't realize that. They're full of protein and antioxidants. I heard something recently, you actually have to cook or heat up the mushroom in order to get the nutritional benefits, which is interesting because a lot of times you see mushrooms in salads, but in fact, you won't get all the benefits unless it's been under a flame. While our portobello mushrooms are marinating, we are going to focus on the filling. That means chopping up some button mushrooms. I would say 4 or 5 would be good for 3 big portobello mushrooms, so just figure out however many you'll need from there. There are so many different types of mushrooms and all of them have a unique flavor. There's button, which we're using for our filling, there's cremini, there's shiitake, there's chanterelles, there's portobello mushrooms, there's the type that Judd Apatow likes to use in his films. So now we're just going to incorporate our Parmesan and our parsley and our mushrooms. We'll add a little bit of salt and pepper. And I'm going to add what is left of my marinade. It's not a lot, as you guys can see, just enough to kind of carry that flavor throughout. Now that our mushrooms are done marinating, it is time to get cooking. Yes! Well, I've got this grill pan, and basically we are going to grill both sides of the mushrooms for about 3 minutes to give that really nice char flavor to them. Put a pan on top of the mushrooms as a weight. What that's gonna do is draw all the excess water out of the mushrooms. Flip the mushrooms over. And I hope you guys can see this gorgeous grill mark. That's exactly what we want. Our portobello mushrooms are perfectly grilled. Now it's time to add the filling. So just take that mix that we made of mushrooms and Parmesan and parsley, put them on top of the mushroom like so. And then we're just going to sprinkle a little bit of pine nuts on top, throw them in the oven at 400 degrees and let them bake for about 10 minutes. These pine nuts will start to brown, so you'll know when it's time to take it out of the oven. And it's not chicken, so you can't screw this one up. Just keep it in until it looks like it's starting to burn. Wow, these smell so good. It's ridiculous. Oh, and you can tell that they smell good because my dog just walked over because he always wants a bite. Now, the best part. The reason why we cook, the tasting. I'm so excited. This smells so good. Oh my God, you honestly have to try this recipe. The tanginess of the balsamic mixed with the earthiness and the richness of the mushrooms, and then the crunch of the pine nuts with the creaminess of the Parmesan, it is so good. Believe me, go home and make this recipe. I'm gonna eat this whole thing right now, so later guys.